3 races in the books, and we're on the 4th race of the season en route to the halfway point in just a couple of weeks at the Nashville Super Speedway. And we're here in Tennessee, starting off here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. As I mentioned, we'll be at the Nashville Super Speedway in just a couple of weeks' time. But here we are for race number 4 of the RCOM Papa John's Truck Series, the EL11VN's What's the Fix 100. The race name mainly is just to promote my debut album that's supposed to be coming out on July 1st. Most likely it will have to be pushed back to probably about somewhere in October. But this is just to promote it, so that way everybody knows. The album pretty much is existing when it comes to the name, but as far as it actually being out is yet to be completely finished and released. So that's something else to work on. But we go from the tricky triangle to yet another historic short track here for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, which has held races over for the NASCAR Cup Series at one point. It's even held Xfinity and Truck Series races at one point. I think it was mostly just Xfinity. But it's even been the home of the season finale for the SRX Camping World for the Camping World SRX Series, really, to be more specific on the name. But it's going to be home to race number 4 of the RCOM Papa John's Truck Series, and I'm really excited for that. In case you weren't with us at the back at the Pocono Raceway, it was a very calm, cool, and collected race. We had a few close calls here and there, but by the end of the race, it was this man, Wyatt Walker, who led every single lap at the Pocono Raceway and went on to capture not only his first win of the season, but his first win of his very young RCOM Papa John's Truck Series career. And that's something that he definitely needed, because now he's up inside of the top 5 of the point standings. But as far as here, I think he's starting just outside of the top 10, so his work is going to be a little bit cut out for him here in this race. And speaking of your point standings, let's go ahead and take a look at them right now. Reggie Fogelman, who has not yet won this season, has a 92-point lead over Josh Williamson by 1 point. He has 91 points in the bank. Wyatt Walker, he is 3rd in points with 86. Derek Hamill sits in the 4th spot with 75 points in the bag. Cole Raymond is tied with Owen Crafton for the 5th spot in points, 73 points in the bag for the both of them. But Owen Crafton would break the tie because of the win that he has over Cole Raymond, so Cole Raymond would be 6th. Mitchell Collins is tied with Brett Kenningberg for 7th of the points, but due to Microsoft Excel physics, it looks like Collins breaks that tie, so that would mean Kenningberg would be 8th. Abby Walker would be 9th with 68 points in the bag, and Bobby Smithfield, who starts closer to the back end of the field, has 67 points in the bank, and he rounds out your top 10 after 3 races, of the RCOM Papa John's Truck Series. Well, here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, this is going to be a pretty interesting race, because this, from what we've seen in past races, when it comes to the NR retrospect, this place usually is a one-groove racetrack, and I think mostly it's just the outside that works, but other than that, everybody just gets into a single file groove and gets into a green flag rhythm. So it'll be interesting to see how long some of these green flag rhythms that we may have here in this race play out. And as you see in the front row there, that is the number 40 of Sophia Frignetti, and alongside her is the number 7 of Samet Oskin. Oskin comes into this race 20th in the point standings with 55 in the bank. However, Sophia Frignetti has had herself not the best of seasons to start off here, because coming in, she is 34th in the point standings with 38 points in the bank. This would be if she were to win this race, which there's a pretty good chance it might happen, depending on if things go her way here in this one. 100 laps, by the way. But if she were to win this would really help her in the point standings before we get to Nashville Super Speedway, which is the halfway point of the season. So it should be fun. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. But alrighty, race fans, I think I've done enough talking, so I think I'm just going to turn this angle over to the drivers. So the drivers are strapped into their trucks. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 36 behemoths rolling onto the racetrack, we got to get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines are fired. Pace truck is rolling off, and so are the 36 drivers. And as they roll out for their pace laps, here's your starting lineup for the What's the Fix 100. The field is just taking one to go. We're getting ready to go. Green flag racing right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. They'll be wasting no time. Pace truck hits pit road, and this will put the field in the hands of a pair of Chevrolets of Sophia Frignetti and Sam Oskin to lead them to green to get race number 4 started here in Nashville. Well, double file for the moment. Up at the front of the field, Frignetti edges ahead. And it's going to be the outside line that gets the big jump off the corner. And it will be Samet Oskin leading lap number 1. Checking back here so that way we don't have any trouble. And it looks like we're good for the time being. Meanwhile, everybody's double file. But up front, closer to the front of the field, 3 wide. That is not going to work. That was really close there. Emily Anderson getting launched off the driver's side door of Josh Williamson. She saves it, and we're still going. Battle for what looks like the 4th position. Nathan Stapleton under fire from Trey Smith. They touched there coming out of turn number 4, but Stapleton is going to retain the 4th position. So Trey Smith is going to fall back to 5th. It's a 3-truck breakaway as Oskin takes over the lead. Well, still holds on to the lead, really. He has led every lap thus far. Frignetti will stay in the 2nd position. Cole Raymond 3rd, Stapleton 4th. Trey Smith in that 5th position. Then it's Minnick, Williamson, Anderson, Cologne, and the 19 of Joey Miles. And it looks like Emily Anderson is under fire from Stephen Cologne. That is the battle for the 8th position. And it looks like Anderson is going to hold on. Meanwhile, let's take a look back here. That's Madison Tola, 24. And the 45 of Shauna Martin way down there on the bottom. It looks like Mike Manford got a really good launch off the corner. That's the battle for 13th. And Manford's going to have it. Yeah, it looks like the outside line is definitely the preferred way to go. But you're going to see here very soon that top side is going to fade away and everybody's going to get into a single file choo-choo train. Man, Shauna Martin is really trying to make that bottom work. Meanwhile, look back here. They're 3 wide. And it looks like, oh, wait a minute. There's a caution. There's a caution out on the race check. This is the first one. Looks like it involves Allison Rain. Oh, they're wrecking again on the front straightaway. That was Mitchell Hodak in the 88, Zachary Fitzwater, and it looks like Owen Miles was collected in that melee. So our first caution of the night has officially flown here on lap number 9. But it looks like the first incident involved the 16 of Mitchell Collins and the 17 of Allison Rain. See the two trucks that are coming down pit road. That's John Stewart in the 98, followed by his teammate, Mitchell Hodak. Both of them are coming down to get service on their trucks. But this is actually pretty interesting. In all the testing that I did, the caution will come out right around lap 2. This time they actually had some good racing for a little while, but now the caution flies on lap number 9. It is Samet Oskin who currently holds on to the race lead. So why don't we go back and take a look and see what happened that caused our first yellow flag of the night here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. From the looks of it here, it looks like Allison Rain just dive-bombed it into the corner underneath of Mitchell Hodak, and Hodak slides up into Ryan Durrani, bounces off of him, and then he comes down into Allison Rain, and that's where Mitchell Hodak gets his damage. And Allison Rain just tagged to the inside wall, just bopped it head on, it looks like. Yeah, just bopped it head on right there. But luckily, it didn't take her out of the race. But meanwhile, Mitchell Hodak is the only guy that has had 2 incidents on the front straightaway tonight. Let's follow along with him for the second incident. So 3 wide, right here. He's on the bottom. That's Reggie Fogelman, our points leader, in the middle. And it looks like... Wait a minute. It looks like actually Fogelman got on the right rear quarter panel of the 88 and sent him up into Bobby Smithfield. And that's what turned him. Meanwhile, the 61 is sandwiched in between of the 51 and the 43. And that's what sends... And Fitzwater gets sent around. And Owen Miles also gets sent around as well. So Fitzy and as well as Owen Miles, Collins' teammate, they both have incidents on the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Mitchell Hodak is the only one that has had an incident on the front straightaway twice. So now this time we're going to follow along here with Mitchell Hodak at full song. That's the first incident. He sent Allison Rain into the wall. And now this time, he's going to get sent up into Bobby Smithfield. And then behind him, the chain reaction of Owen Miles getting squeezed. That reaction gets set off. But my oh my, that sure is some ride for all of these drivers. We're going to ride along with the number 88 of Mitchell Hodak right here. Just sends the 17 into the wall. And then we're going to stay with him for the second incident. At this point, the caution's already out. So everybody's racing back to the line. But then watch this. That's incident numero dos, and that's where John Stewart gets his damage. So Stewart also got involved in that front straightaway melee the second time around for Mitchell Hodak. Now let's ride along with one more on board, this time with Owen Miles, as he got pinched between Abby Walker and Zachary Fitzwater. That sent both of them around somehow. This is the first incident. That's from Owen's perspective. And this is where Owen Miles gets set up for the pinch. Right there. He gets into the right rear quarter panel of the 43, and then they both go up into Abby Walker. And that's how pretty much he got pinched, Owen Miles did. But still, nonetheless, Samet Oskin is your current race leader. So let's get back to the restart. Let's rejoin the field for the restart. That's a better way of wording it. For the What's the Fix 100 right here in the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. One lap and we will be back to green flag racing right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. No one is out of the race, and no one is smelling what the Rock is cooking at the very moment. That barbecue right now, maybe it's smelling pretty good from up here, but nonetheless, these drivers don't want to get taken out of the race. But your top 10 goes as follows as they come back to the green. Sam Oskin, the leader. Running second is Sophia Frignini, then it's Cole Raymond, Nathan Stapleton, Trey Smith, Bronson Minnick, Josh Williamson, Emily Anderson, Stephen Colon, and Joey Miles, the top 10. Here we come. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway. So 13 laps are in the books, and looks like Josh Williamson is going to try to make the early jump on Bronson Minnick. He's to the inside. That's the battle for sixth position, but Minnick is going to hold on, and he will retain that position. Looks like Mike Manford is going to try to get by Wyatt Walker here. That's the battle for 12th, but it looks like Walker coming out of turn 4 is going to have that big giant assist off the corner and just gets him at the line. And from the looks of things, he might be able to retain. He's going to definitely retain that position. However, I do feel like somehow that outside line may get worked back into the frame here. But Wyatt Walker does end up clearing Mike Manford, or will he? Meanwhile, behind them, that's Owen Crafton trying to get by Shauna Martin on the inside. That is the battle for the 15th position. And Shauna Martin is going to hold on. Meanwhile, Wyatt Walker clears Mike Manford and will drop right in front of him. But this battle is still going on right here in the middle of the pack. And let's take a look back here. Alex Bonsignor and Ryan Durrani going at it. That is the battle for the 22nd position. Then you have Addison Jarrell. She's trying to get around Brett Kenningberg on the outside, or really on the inside. But Kenningberg's trying to fight back on the outside, and he's going to do exactly that. Right at the very stripe. So now we're a fifth of the way through this race. This time around, as Oskin brings them down. Kenningberg still trying to hold on the outside. He's definitely got the run on the corner exit. But Addison Jarrell seems to pull up alongside on the straightaway, so it looks like these drivers on the outside line, they have the corner speed on the exit, but the drivers on the inside would have the run on the straightaways, and Kenningberg is going to clear Addison Jarrell for that 22nd position, I want to say. No, that was for 24th. My bad there. So it looks like not Addison Jarrell, excuse me. But Sam Oskin still holds on to the lead. Nothing much has really changed up here inside of the top 10. But everybody now is single file. However, I would have to believe that pit stops may come into play here eventually. It's personally my belief. The pit stops may come into play. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but there's a chance. I'll tell you something else that may come into play here, and that's lap traffic. John Stewart and Mitchell Hodak are both far off the pace. They're off turn 4 on the front straightaway. Meanwhile, these guys had already just entered turn 3. These guys are going into turn 1. And these guys are going into turn 3 now. So at some point, we might have to deal with some lap traffic, and that's going to stack the field up just a little bit. So that should be pretty interesting. as to how that will play out if we're going to get some more side-by-side racing here. Just checking through the field. Just see what's up here. And everybody, once again, is single file. This is usually something that you would see with at a local short track where drivers are running at a single file line. Say we're under caution, and the track officials had put down safety the safety dry, and the drivers need to work it in. So this is exactly what they do. They let them loose, but you're not allowed to pass, and they just basically work the safety dry in under full speed without passing anybody. That's exactly what this is reminding me of. However, we're still racing, and we're within 30 laps complete. Well, we're a little over that, really. But we're coming close to halfway, about 18 laps before that. Coming up here pretty soon. And we're slowly catching up to Jon Stewart and Mitchell Hodak. Very slowly, but surely. And they're still going side by side. This is pretty much the only battle that matters right now. This is the battle for 35th place. Right here. Just imagine how much entertainment you'd be getting for a battle for the 35th position. Just as the leaders are closing in. This has got to be some good stuff right here. So that was just pretty much just the battle of who wants to be in last place the least. And pretty much, and I'd say obviously that's Jon Stewart, because he's got the preferred line on corner exit. However, the leaders have caught up to both of these drivers. So I'm now curious as to how this is going to play out here. Hodak continuing to go to the inside. And it looks like we've now officially caught up to these two. Let's see what happens here. Oskin tried to peak low, but he couldn't quite get it done. Now let's see if he goes to the outside. He does. I think he's going to do it. No, he doesn't do it there. So now this is stacking the field up. This is bringing them closer together. And Oskin now going to the inside of Mitchell Hodak. He's got the preferred line. Hodak does. And this is going to allow Jon Stewart to get away here. Oh, this is actually going to be pretty interesting. So now the field's kind of bunched up a little bit more. So I'm now actually curious as to if we're actually going to get a little bit more side by side. So it looks like Oskin is going to clear Mitchell Hodak. Now he's going to try to get by Jon Stewart, which he does pretty easily. And Sam Oskin is going to easily check out. So yeah, this pretty much. Oh wait, over here, battle for this is. Now we've got some side by side. This is the battle for the 11th position. Wyatt Walker trying to get underneath of Colin Cropley. He's got to run, and wait a minute, he's actually got it. He actually got the position. How about that? Wyatt Walker got the spot. That's I think part of it just has to do with that outside line being held up. And look at this. It looks like Wyatt Walker's going to try to get another position. He tried. But now Mike Manford saw that Wyatt was able to get the bottom working. And now he's going to try the bottom. Shauna Martin's also going to try the inside on Madison's Hall. But that corner exit speed is just so great for all those drivers on the outside. But now I think this is also opening the door for that side-by-side racing once again. Oh my, I thought they were going to be 3 wide up here. It looks like Emily Anderson, Stephen Colon, and Joey Miles, looks like they all might get by here pretty safely. But meanwhile, this pretty much is the battling. This is pretty much the fights that are going on right now. Gordon, as well as Shauna Martin and Mike Manford, are trying to get positions on the inside line. So far, it's not really working to their benefit at the moment. Unlike what happened with Wyatt Walker, he was able to get that inside line working just perfectly for him. And now that's why he's up in the 11th position. But that top side's getting held up pretty significantly. And it looks like Mike Manford got that position just barely over Colin Cropley. My goodness. So now Manford's going to try to get by the slower traffic, but now he's getting held up here by John Stewart. And he gets by pretty easily without any more issues. Shauna Martin has now gotten a spot on Colin Cropley. Here comes Elijah Gordon for try to get a position on Colin Cropley here. Looks like he might get it. He'll definitely get it right here because of the slower traffic. And he's got it. So now move Gordon up to the 14th position. Cropley being pushed back to 15th now. Oh, we almost had 3 wide there. Zoe Summer. She tried to get to the inside of Madison's Hall and Colin Cropley. That didn't quite work out to her benefit, though. But now Cropley has now made a move to the bottom. And this opens the door for another side-by-side battle. Zoe Summer now going to try to get a position on Madison's Hall. That is 16th position. And while all that's happening, everybody else is starting to check out. And almost 3 wide right there. Madison's Hall tried to thread the needle, but the 99 of Chris Reynolds had other plans as he gets to the inside. And he'll try to pass both of his Thor Sport teammates. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Owen Crafton down on the apron. Is there something wrong with Owen Crafton's truck? I'm hoping not. But this is going to be pretty interesting. So now that holds up everybody behind him. Oh no, crash! That's Alex Sponsor going around. And as well as the 91 of Aston Jarrell. And the 66 of Ryan Durrani's gone around. That's a caution. And Samet Oskin brings him down. These guys are still 3 wide. And they managed to get it settled down. Well, just a tough season for Alex Bonsignor as it just continues to pile for this number 46 team. Meanwhile, we've just passed the halfway point. Just a mere probably about a minute or 2 ago. That's how fast the laps click away here. 17 seconds. Usually, 17 to 18 seconds usually is how quick a lap goes by here. So every 3 laps, that's a minute. So about 2 minutes ago, we were at halfway. But we got some side-by-side racing finally, but that's just a byproduct of side-by-side racing. Sometimes you'll go 3 wide, and eventually that just causes a huge, not really a huge melee, but a big enough wreck to take out some drivers. Either that or soften up their trucks so that way they're not as quick as what they used to be. But in the meantime, it's Sam Oskin continuing to put on a clinic as he's led every single lap thus far here in this race. So let's take a look at that second incident that brought out our second yellow flag of the night here in Nashville. Well, it looks like right here, Alex Bonsignor slides up the track, and that opens up the door for Ryan Durrani to get to the middle. However, I think no, it looks like Addison Jarrell comes up into Ryan Durrani and then sends her up into the 46, and this pinches Ryan Durrani into the wall in the process. And that's what triggers this 3-truck incident right here in the front straightaway. Looks like Reggie Fogelman, our points leader, gets involved in this one too. But he's been trapped in the back here all night long. So most likely, for sure, he's going to be leaving here no longer the points leader. And I think this is heavily going to benefit somebody like Josh Williamson, who comes in second in the points. So it'll be interesting to see how the points shake up here. But tough break for these 3 drivers that were just buying their time and really actually racing pretty well. This is from Ryan Durrani's perspective. See Bonsignor open up the door. And I think from that angle, Addison Jarrell did come up, but you could also argue that Ryan Durrani came down into the right rear quarter panel of Addison Jarrell. Both of them seem pretty reasonable, but I do think that Addison Jarrell came up just a little bit into Ryan Durrani. But I can see both sides to the argument, but nonetheless, they're both trapped in the back. It'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to work their way up through the field here. As we are past halfway, I think we're closing in on just under 40 laps to go. And it is Samet Oskin who continues to dominate. So let's rejoin the field for the restart here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. One lap and we will be back to green flag racing. And now this time we are going to have some slower traffic on the inside. I believe we are. Yes, we do. Mitchell Hodak and as well as the 98 of John Stewart joining the field on the inside line. So this is going to make for a very interesting restart. Oh boy, let's see how this one shakes out. 40 to go. And it's Samet Oskin, your leader. Frignetti second, Cole Raymond third, Stapleton and Trey Smith complete the top 5. And we can easily see right here that these trucks are not up to speed. Oh no, crash on the back straightaway. I think they saved it. Emily Anderson once again with a tremendous save. This time on the back straightaway. Not sure if a little bit of monster got sprinkled all over Stephen Cologne's cookies before he got into the race truck, but I don't know if he's not on a mission to take out somebody. But man, oh man. Once again, another great save by Emily Anderson, and she holds on to the 8th position. Bronson Minnick looks like he's going to get a spot on Josh Williamson. Or no, still get a spot on Josh Williamson. But the top 4 have broken away. But this is also going to be pretty interesting because John Stewart's truck is arguably much worse than Mitchell Hodak's truck. So this is actually going to be pretty interesting. Williamson is now being crowded by Stephen Cologne here. Oh, don't go to the outside, Cologne. I wouldn't want to go up to the outside if I were you right now. I'd wait until you get by John Stewart, then you can worry about using that outside line to your advantage. Meanwhile, Bronson Minnick is looking to get a position on Trey Smith. However, the problem here is you have the slower truck of Mitchell Hodak that's going to hinder that progress. So the top 4 have all broken away right here. Oskin, Frignetti, Raymond, and Stapleton. That's your top 4. And Trey Smith completes the top 5. Meanwhile, Wyatt Walker is going to get another position on the inside. No, he's not. Joey Miles just got it at the line. But I think right here, this is where Wyatt Walker is going to benefit from this one, because John Stewart is going to hold up that outside line. Stewart's trying to fight back to try to stay ahead of the 30. Even though he's not the leader, Stephen Colon is not, but still, he's fighting for everything he can. And Wyatt Walker just broke into the top 10. How about that? If anything, I think definitely the top 2 are going to be Josh Williamson and Wyatt Walker leaving here as we head into the Nashville Super Speedway, Nashville Super Speedway in just a couple of weeks' time. So this will really shake up the points quite a bit, but I think it's also going to make the points just a little bit more interesting. Joey Miles now under fire from Mike Manfer. That would be the battle for the 11th position now. Meanwhile, there's some more racing going on back over here. How about Jordan Watt and Owen Crafton going at it for position? That'd be the battle for the 18th position. So that's mid-pack. Watt has it, but Crafton's going to want it. Derek Campbell's trying to get a position on Madison Tall. That would be the battle for the 20th spot. And Brett Kenningberg, boy, I feel like Derek Campbell and Brett Kenningberg, it seems like no matter where you go, those two are always very close to each other, nose to tail. And here they are together again. So this is going to be pretty interesting. William Brock trying to get a spot on Brett Kenningberg. That would be for the 22nd position. But Kenningberg's going to get it at the line. But William Brock wants it really bad. And it looks like he might get it. He slides up and he clears him. But here comes Brett Kenningberg with the crossover. How about that? This is actually some good stuff. Meanwhile, behind them, Abby Walker's trying to go for a position on Carter Joey. That would be for the 24th position, 23rd, 24th. And he's going to get it over Abby Walker right at the line. Zoe Summer, Colin Cropley. They're battling it out for the 15th spot. But so far, the racing that we've seen here has actually been not bad for what it's been. Not too bad at all. And I think we might shape ourselves up here for a pretty interesting finish, depending on what happens up here. Because the top 4 are spaced out at this point, and they're broken away. So, should nothing else happen, Sam and Oskin may walk away with this one extremely dominant. Chevrolet, by the way, to point out, has won 2 of the last 3 races. And looks like Sam and Oskin is going to try to stretch that streak out. In this pack, there's a 3/4 chance that's going to happen. Nathan Stapleton being the odd truck out as the highest running Ford in this race. And it looks like the highest running Toyota is Stephen Colon, running in the 9th position. Everybody inside of the top 10 is spaced out until you get back to here, with Walker trying to get by John Stewart. So far, not making a lot of progress in doing that. Stewart still holding on, but I think part of it is because he has those fresher tires when he came in on that previous caution. So that's definitely playing a factor in this one. Cropley is now under fire from Chris Reynolds. That would be for the 16th position. And Cropley's definitely trying to make that bottom line work. He's got it working, and he had it working just enough to nab the 16th spot last lap around. But this time around, Cropley's going to get the position back. This is actually some good stuff. Meanwhile, behind him, Crafton and Madison Tall are going at it. That would be for the 19th position. And Cropley's going to easily clear the 99 for the time being. We're closing in on 15 laps to go here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You also got the remember, you also have the 4? Well, not anymore. Madison Tall just cleared Owen Crafton for the 19th position. And Wyatt Walker still trying to go to work on that 98 of John Stewart, 15 to go. And the top 10 are pretty much spaced out at this point. So now, Bronson Minnick may, if he can get up there, he might challenge the 38 of Trey Smith for that 5th spot. And Emily Anderson, she might also join that fight. Josh Williamson looks like he might ride comfortably in the 8th position. Cologne may ride comfortably in 9th, but Wyatt Walker and everybody else behind him, they're definitely going to be on their toes here, because because Wyatt is still trying to work over that 98 of John Stewart. Meanwhile, behind him, Colin Cropley once again trying to pressure Zoe Summer into a mistake. But once again, Summer, with that tremendous run off the corner, is going to easily retain the 15th spot. So this is actually going to be some pretty interesting racing coming to the checkered flag here in another 11 laps time. My goodness, for what this has been, it's been not bad. I'm not gonna say it was great, but it's not bad. But it's also, this race has also been not the best either. So, if anything, I think Salmon Oskin may walk away with this one. He's definitely gonna walk away with this one, because he has about 4/10 of a second advantage over Sophia Fernitti, almost a half a second. But they're also, however, catching up to the tail end of the field. Part of it has to do with Mitchell Hodak and John Stewart holding up the rest of the field. So the 9 trucks that are up here, they're definitely going to get the positions that they feel that they deserve, and rightfully so. However, this really, I don't even know what I'm saying here at this point. But that's really going to shake the points up here. And Joey Miles is going to try to take back the 10th position from Wyatt Walker, and he got it. He got it right there. I think Wyatt just used up all of his stuff trying to get by John Stewart. And I think that's what set him up to lose that 10th spot to Joey Miles. So this is actually going to be a pretty interesting race to the finish right here. 5 laps to go. And Salmon Oskin, unless if he makes a mistake, this race pretty much is going to be Salmon Oskin walking away with the winner, as the winner, excuse me. 4 to go. Remember, Salmon Oskin comes into this race 20th in the point standings. So this is definitely going to help him out by a bit. I think this is going to move him up inside of the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. This very well could. This win could move him up inside of the top 10 in the standings. I'm not 100%. I'm not going to 100% confirm it. But that's very well going to be the case. That very well may be the case, excuse me. 2 to go. And the tail end of the field is not going to be a factor whatsoever. There's just not enough time to catch him. But we're coming around this time for the white flag. It's Samet Oskin, who started on the outside of the front row, has led every single lap thus far. There's the white flag. And all he has to do is just lead this last one. And then this win is definitely going to be his. He's led 99 laps. As I mentioned, he'll lead lap 100. And Samet Oskin comes off the corner, and he will win in very dominating and very convincing fashion here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Samet Oskin, your winner over Sophia Frigniti, who finishes just a half a second behind him in the second spot. Then it's Cole Raymond fourth, or excuse me, third. Nathan Stapleton fourth, and Trace Smith completes the top five with Bronson Minnick, Emily Anderson, Josh Williamson, Stephen Colon, and Joey Miles completing the top 10. Like I said, this race was not the best, but it for sure wasn't the worst. And Samet Oskin walks away with the victory here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You see the rest of the results from 11th through 36th rolling on the left-hand side of your screen. This race is definitely gonna this race I feel like just might shake up the point standings by a bit. I don't even know what else to say. This is going to be pretty interesting. But as we get to the halfway point, we have 6 races left before we get to Nashville Superspeedway in order to complete that halfway point race. But yes, if you're going to try to... I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Excuse me. But if you're actually going to try to climb your way up through the point standings, just know it's going to get a lot more difficult once we pass that halfway point, because as the more points you accumulate, the harder it is to climb your way up through the point standings. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm saying. This is what I get for recording this starting at 10 in the morning, because my brain is just not in it. But nonetheless, should be interesting to see how the final 5 races after pretty much the final 5 races after the Nashville Superspeedway are going to go. But be sure to join us on July 15th, at the Nashville Superspeedway for the 5th race of the season, and then after that it'll be 5 races left. But should be pretty interesting. And one more time, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I keep saying that so many times. I do apologize for that. But at the end of the day, this race may not have been the best, but it for sure wasn't the worst. But by the end of it all, it was Samet Oskin walking away with the win. So one more time, congratulations to him, and here are your points after race number 4 of the RCOM Papa John's Truck Series. And we'll see you guys at the Nashville Superspeedway in just a couple weeks' time. Good night, everybody.